The Security Council was set up to be the leader on peace and security, and yet when it fails, the consequences are terrible. Look what has happened in Syria, look what happened in a number of votes in relation to Israel, look what's happened over the years. The Security Council hasn't fulfilled its obligations. It's just not acceptable that the highest security and political organ of the United Nations would block steps that would save so many lives. It's not acceptable. And when the Security Council fails, the United Nations fails.
If a member state decides to use his veto to block a council action, I think it should be incumbent upon that state, that representative, to put an alternative forward. You cannot put down a veto, paralyze operations, create a stalemate, and not propose a way forward.
If the veto is to be used, then there must be very solid and cogent reasons for the use of the veto. We have seen that the world has in many ways been negatively impacted because of the use of the veto.
They should explain why they exercise the veto and also give an alternative.
There is increasing recognition that all states have a responsibility to protect populations from mass atrocities. The failure of the UN Security Council to halt widespread atrocities in Syria has led to two important initiatives, the ACT Code of Conduct and the French-Mexican Initiative on Veto Restraint. Over 115 countries have endorsed those two initiatives now. This has already increased the political cost to any member of the Council voting against a resolution aimed at preventing or halting mass atrocities. And this is an issue the UN absolutely has to get right for the sake of our common humanity.
The United Nations were created for the people of the world. There is no notion of international community without including the civil society.
The UN Security Council was created to prevent mass atrocities. Unfortunately, they've consistently failed the world, from Rwanda to Syria. So Amnesty International's call, which is a call of ordinary people across the world today, is that the permanent members of the Security Council, particularly the US, Russia and China, must stop using the veto to protect themselves. They should focus on protecting civilians who are dying in such large numbers. It's high time that these governments put the interests of people, protection of civilians, above their narrow political interests.
They have to recognize that they are a privileged group. They have been given the permanent seat that includes the veto right.
When they are divided and they can't even agree on a resolution, the crises tend to fester and sometimes get out of hand.
When they can see eye to eye, then we can move to a positive solution.
When the Council speaks with one voice, that voice is powerful.